Hi, I'm Jay, the client success manager here at Root. And if you reach out to us, I'll most likely be the first person you talk to. Welcome to Advisor Unplugged, where you get a behind the scenes peek at the real humans behind the planning. Let's be honest, one of the biggest reasons we choose an advisor is because of trust. So we're doing these chats to help you get to know our team before you ever hop on a call. Today, we're hanging out with Kerri Allen out of Maine. Let's dive in. Welcome, everybody. We have a very special guest today. Our girl, Kerri Allen, who's coming to us from outside of Portland, Maine, right? But is actually originally from Boston. Yeah.
Yes,
And you went to Boston University, right?
I did. I went to Boston University for my MBA and have been in Boston for a large part of my professional and personal life. So it's
Really? I'm Boston has a special place for me. I was a US history major in college. So of course there's so much history about our country that lives in Boston. And I'm a big hockey fan. So where you went to school, Boston University, they crush at hockey. So I'm always watching them, I feel like in the Frozen Four. It's just a special place. And now my in-laws live in Cape Cod. So we go out there every
oh,
year. And Boston's just such a cool city. I'd like to spend more time there.
it is. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed living there, and I think ultimately we're big skiers and
Yeah.
outdoorsy people, and so we were kind of thinking, all right, how can we have a better balance
Yeah.
and be able to get to skiing faster, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about skiing, right? And so we got this getaway spot up here in Maine, and eventually just decided, my gosh, we love being here so much. Let's find a way to kind of marry our passions with our work. And we made Maine our full time place.
Yeah. So how did you find it, by the way? Because you said you're close to, is it Sugarloaf Mountain?
Yes.
How did you find it? Because it looks magical.
We got super lucky. I was constantly checking real estate listings that came up. This came up on a Friday night. We were up there the next day to view the property
Yeah.
and made an offer that very next day. So
Really?
just got super lucky. The guy who built our place is a really cool builder up here in Maine and built
Oh,
everything from hand using, old beams and lots of
yeah.
wood. It really, he did an amazing job. So, yeah.
And you're on multiple acres?
Yeah. Yeah. So my husband and I are both from the city, grew up in the city all our lives.
Yeah.
And it just feels like heaven having so much, space and land. And so we have 17 acres, which is just enough to be able to have, some chickens. And
Yeah.
we even like made mountain biking paths through the woods.
Oh my Lord.
So
I need to
it's
come
a lot of
visit.
fun.
So you guys
Anytime.
so
Open
you guys
invitation.
have like a farm, you have like a co-op there, you got fresh farm to table eating lifestyle or what?
We're working on it. So because we just made the move to be here full time, because you kind of be around when there's farm animals, right? So we're getting the chicken coop actually this weekend and
Okay.
getting the chickens in place. So we'll have farm fresh eggs. We've got the garden going. And, maybe eventually we'll do goats. We're not quite there yet, but
Okay. Okay. So I'm super envious of the position. I'm a snowboarder. I was retired
nice.
for a little bit while my kids were young. Now they're into it. My daughter's a skier, my son's a snowboarder. How close are you to the mountain?
So it's about 30 minutes south.
Okay.
And kind of the closer you get to the mountain, the price tag goes up. So this
Correct.
is
Correct.
this is a nice balance. Um,
Okay. So the next question I want to know is how many days a year do you get of skiing in?
it's a great question. So this is kind of the first season really that we'll be here full time because previously we were splitting time between Boston and Maine, so it was a
Yeah.
little trickier. So we'll have to see. It's gonna be I'll have to keep you posted on our days actually out skiing, but as many as we can.
I'm so excited for you. I always wanted that was my dream of like when I graduated college. I wanted to go be a ski bum somewhere like up in Whistler or Mammoth. And things didn't happen that way. But I was like, I just want 1 year where you get like 90 to 100 days in, right?
I
I,
know.
I think the best I ever got was 16 days, which for me
16?
was a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
16 days. But,
yeah.
you know, we have access to one of the greatest mountains, Mammoth Mountain out here, but it's
Oh,
five and a
yeah.
half hour drive. So
Wow.
it's a commitment. It is a commitment. It's not like a
Yeah,
day trip.
yeah.
Um, all right, so let's back it up to baby Kerri being born in Boston. Okay. So you're Boston born, then you end up going to Boston University. Is that right?
Well, I was actually not born in Boston. So
Oh,
I've been all over the country. My parents were doctors growing up, so
interesting.
we actually started my life out in California in the Bay Area,
Nice. Okay.
and then moved to Philadelphia and followed by New York City, and then and actually a year in Minnesota, and then
Yes.
finally Boston. So been all over.
How old were you when you landed in Boston?
Eighth grade.
Okay. Eighth grade. All right. So you did high school there and then
Yep.
went to college there. Now, when do we start introducing the idea of joining the financial world?
Well, so I went to college actually out in Santa Barbara, and
Wait, what school?
I went to Brooks.
Brooks. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I did kind of a lot of advertising,
Yep.
business work, decided that it really wasn't the world I wanted to be in,
Okay.
and actually got into financial services because I was in a relationship with someone whose father ran an agency out in California. So I started my career in California.
No way.
And
Small world. Okay.
then ultimately moved back to the East Coast, and it's kind of been doing this for, believe it or not, 20 years, which feel like saying that makes me feel so old.
I think it's me, you, and KDV are on the older side here at Root, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We got
It's all
years
right,
underneath
yeah.
our belt.
Yep.
Um, okay, so you're dating someone, you get introduced to it, you start in California. What's that like? Are you starting at an investment firm?
So I started at Northwestern Mutual was my first firm. So I
Yep.
did insurance, investments, kind of all of it. Uh,
Okay.
I I would say I really loved the training. It was great to go through just the process and kind of scrape my knees a little bit.
Okay.
And then ultimately, I moved on from there to Bank of America, Merrill Lynch,
Okay.
and worked for part of that time in New York City. So I bounced around a little bit,
Yeah.
and then back to Boston,
Okay.
and was at several different RIAs. So um, one of them was Bay State Financial, and then ultimately to my last firm, which was TFC Financial.
Okay. How did you find Root?
Yeah, good question. So I was looking online at what's out there and
Mhm.
stumbled upon Root, and I said, "Oh, that's interesting. This is kind of cool with the digital marketing and the
Yeah.
videos." And I actually found James first, his videos. I didn't find Ari first, and was just blown away by the depth of content and his delivery, and just thought it was such an amazing um, company
Yeah.
that you guys had all built. And so I reached out to James, and it took me a little bit to kind of get over here and kind of make
Yeah.
it happen from a lifestyle standpoint, but
Yeah.
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, we are too. We're so excited. It's funny. It always starts with, usually we all were fanboys, fangirls of James. And, yeah, that's how it starts. So, how has it been with the transition? How's it going so far?
It's great. It's great. It's always busy when you're starting over at a new place. You're learning the systems
Yeah.
and meeting all the people, but everyone has really blown me away in the depth of their knowledge and how collaborative everyone is, despite being a remote company. You really don't
Yes.
feel that, right? And I was so fortunate to have started at a time where we were doing a smaller team retreat. So
Yep.
that was such a joy to meet people in person and just talk shop and get to
Yeah.
know everyone.
Yeah. You're on such a cool team. And you guys, your retreat was in Maine, right?
It was, yeah, strangely enough.
Right.
Yeah.
You're home. I know. I know Chris was trying to plan that out and they were debating on different places. And then Maine was, and I was like, oh, I was kind of jealous. I was like, I've always wanted to go to Maine. I've heard, because I've just heard incredible things about Maine and the beauty of it. And it sounds
Yeah.
like such an incredible spot.
All
Okay.
true.
Well, okay. I'm glad everything's been going well. That's because everybody's excited to have you here. Um, so on the work side, how would you describe your approach to working with clients?
Yeah. So I think for me, the most important part of working with a new client, so I'm kind of an information junkie, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
I need a lot of information, and I think getting to know someone, not just the numbers, not
Yeah.
just, the basic stuff like that, how much is in a 401k and retirement age. I think it's really understanding what keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
What is it that you're passionate about? What do you want your life to look like now and 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You know, that's so important when you're building out a financial plan to incorporate all those things. And I found that in working with people, sometimes they don't even know, and that's not uncommon, right? To
Right.
not have all the answers or you haven't really gone there in your mind.
Right.
So in my process with clients, it's kind of fleshing out all of those details and figuring out who is this person, and how can I meet them where they're at, right? It's not just me saying, all right, here, this is the recommendation, good luck, right? I'm going with them and helping them to implement, making sure things get done. And it's a fun process. It really is. I I love the relationships I build with clients.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, but they often start to feel like family.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, it's an honor to be with them through their lives, whether it's, big things or small things. Uh, it's, it's a great process.
Yeah, I feel that. I know I always joke about with potential clients. I say, this is a little different relationship than you're used to with your advisor that maybe just talks about investments. I was like, we're talking about your life here. So I said,
Yeah.
as corny as it sounds, your advisor is going to become part advisor, part life coach, part family member, sometimes part marriage counselor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so what should clients expect when working with you?
So that's a good question. I think they should expect someone who is able to see the big picture, but at the same time, really get into the weeds. I am, you know, really going to be a guide as they're going through these decisions and
Yeah.
help to really root for them to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish. uh, and I think they should expect someone that's competent, obviously, but also kind. I'm
Yeah.
not here to judge anyone. That is the last thing I want to do. And I think sometimes meeting with a financial advisor can feel scary, right? Because you think, well, I don't want to, be honest and tell
Yeah.
someone um, how, how much I'm spending or,
Yeah.
what I'm afraid of. But
Mhm.
my role is to never be a judge and always be there to help.
That's great perspective because I could see that being uncomfortable for people, right? Maybe feeling judged about it, feeling guilty, ashamed, maybe of spending, or where like we talked to a lot of people that are like, I just don't know if I've saved enough or I'm in a good place. So it's a very sensitive situation. And I like the way you frame that. I think that's important. Um, I like to hear fun impact stories. So do you have any unique client stories that you can share with us where you're like, wow, the work is really meaningful here? It's really made some impact.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of client stories. The one that comes to mind that really made an impact to hear uh, a client say is, so I do a lot of work with tax analysis and how to minimize the, the tax. I hear in the
Oh
background.
gosh, it's going nuts.
um, Yeah, so I do a lot of work with tax analysis and strategy in client meetings, and I had one client who was always trying to stay below that IRMA threshold to save on Medicare premiums, right? And but it meant kind of being really sensitive to distributions from their retirement plan. And in this particular year, so this client was getting into close to 80, so a little bit older, starting to feel the impact of age, and that happens at different times for everybody. But he shared with me that it was very important for him to go on certain trips, right? And as there's a time when you just start to feel less capable of traveling, and it's not as enjoyable as maybe it is when you're younger. And
Yeah.
so this particular client was going to forego this special trip because he didn't want to cross into that next IRMA threshold and pay higher Medicare premiums. And I said, don't take the living out of life.
Hmm.
Let's not let the tax tail wag the dog, as they always say. And he so much appreciated the holistic approach to planning. And he said, you know what? You're right. I'm going to take this trip. And then he told me a story about his brother who was a little bit older, who who now couldn't travel because of health conditions. And it meant so much to me to know that he was going to be able to take this trip. And I made him promise to send me pictures so that I could live vicariously through him, since I don't do as much traveling as I should, right? But so that's my client story.
That's beautiful. I love stories like that. I love where you can empower a client to feel that they're in a good position, that they can do those things they want to do, right? Because with the ethos of our company, maximizing retirement, it's like our worst fear is you wake up at 88 and go, oh, shoot, I didn't get busy spending and I didn't get busy living. And now, I don't have the energy or the health to do what I wanted to do. Right. So
Yeah,
I love stories like that of empowering our clients to feel okay to do those things. Right.
yeah.
Um, so back to you. So traveling, so we're not doing much traveling now on a personal side.
I don't do a lot of travel other than to visit family. So my husband's family is in LA, so we're often going out that way. And then of course my family is down on the East Coast, Boston and Pennsylvania. But other than that, we really don't travel a lot. We are kind of homebodies. Again, love the outdoors, and kind of our thing is skiing in the winter, mountain biking in other seasons. Um, yeah, so we kind of stick around the house.
Well, and you guys have such a paradise that you
Yeah.
live in, right? With the property, the acreage, being close to all the outdoor activities, being outdoor enthusiast that you are. No need to really go anywhere. And then you are a dog owner too, right?
Yes, yes. We have 2 Huskies, and they are a lot of fun, a lot of energy, but yeah, there are babies.
Are they absolutely in heaven being near the snow? Do they just go crazy out in the snow?
They do, they love it. I
Ugh,
mean, they love all the seasons, all the wildlife. We in the mornings, we'll watch the deer, families of deer come through the front and graze in the field, and we
okay.
actually have some apple trees out front too that the deer will sometimes kinda pop up and grab an apple off the tree, and our dogs will prop themselves up on the bench that's in front of the window and just watch, and so far, they don't chase the deer, which
Oh, that's
is
good.
great. I know.
Okay. They're buddies. Okay. I like to ask our fellow Rudies with animals, what level of dog crazy are you from 0 to 10?
I have always been such a dog lover. Even as a young child, I would just go up to random dogs. So I'm probably a 10. Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah.
10. So you can't leave do you feel like you can't leave the house without them?
Oh,
Like you take
yeah.
them.
They go everywhere.
Do you guys have like the doggy backpacks and all that? Um,
No, these are pretty big dogs. So,
I
yeah.
Well, I've
Um,
I've seen some people with like the dog carrier backpacks with giant dogs. Like I have two Bernedoodles. They're
okay.
big dogs. They're 75 pounds. And I've seen people wear them. I'm like, oh my, this is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. We don't do that. No judgment to those who do, but,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we did they're good on the leash. So they're
Okay.
city dogs, so they're good around, big crowds, and, they grew up
Nice.
in the city, so yeah, they're pretty well behaved.
Wait, you said your hubby's from LA?
He is.
What part?
Oh gosh, Montebello?
Montebello. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm probably 35, 40 minutes away from Montebello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not too far. I'm just more,
Yeah.
I guess, towards the ocean a little bit. Like he's a little
Yeah,
bit more
that's the
inland.
nice spot. It's a
Yeah,
nice
where
spot.
did you guys meet?
We met online in Boston.
Yes. So what was he in Boston for? Was this
Yes.
like for work? He was there?
Yeah, so he's remote, but he still works, for a university in Boston,
Okay.
and he had moved to Boston for that job, and then, of course, the, pandemic happened,
Yep.
and their team went fully remote, so met him just before the pandemic, and married before the pandemic.
When you guys met, did were you both like on equal playing fields of like how you like to spend your time as far as both being outdoor enthusiasts?
Yeah, I have thought about this actually. It's unique. I think that both
Yeah.
partners are so much on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think being from California was super outdoorsy.
Yep.
I think a lot of people
Yeah.
tend to gravitate towards that. But he had not been a skier until he met me. And I actually was a snowboarder and converted to skiing.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I know, but
Um,
skiing kinda lends itself better to East Coast icy conditions and stuff,
Yep.
so
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
why. So he picked up skiing and just, like, loved it.
Fell in love with it. Yep.
Became great at it, and so I really lucked out with marrying him because
Yes.
we're so aligned in what we enjoy.
That's so unique to have, right? Where you're both
I know.
excited about the same things. That's great. Um, Okay. What's something that a lot of people might not know about you?
I guess kind of a new thing for me. I've gotten into milling my own flour and baking, which is
Okay.
never yeah, I know. I know it sounds like a lot, but we've always been super health conscious and a friend of ours got us into freshly milled flour. And
Okay.
prior to this, I had not been able to tolerate gluten. So,
Interesting.
yes. So, not to get too into the weeds on it, but
Yeah.
there's something with freshly milled flour that is more digestible. And
Okay.
so I have had no problem with it and it's been a lot of fun. So we make or I make you know, waffles from scratch each week. He makes pancakes and sourdough bread. We have our
Oh,
own sourdough starter. It's it's really a lot of fun unexpectedly, it takes a minute and there's
yeah.
a lot involved, but it's so healthy. It's
I
been really
love
great.
that's a really interesting point that it doesn't create the same reaction digestively. Because I'm telling you something. If you told me I was gluten intolerant tomorrow, I would not be good. I need my carbs, especially bread. So I would be milling my own flour. I'd be doing whatever it take, witchcraft, voodoo, to make sure I could eat bread. And I did not realize till recently the power of homemade sourdough bread. Oh
Yeah,
my word. It's incredible. It's life changing.
it really is. It's such a luxury.
Such a luxury. And I know it's a lot of work, but we've now had a couple rolls delivered to us by friends and neighbors. And I'm like, I'll pay you greatly for that. It's just a different experience. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's probably, I would assume it's healthier just because it probably doesn't have the additives that most bread has, right?
Yeah, there's something in freshly milled flour because it has the whole grain and it's fresh.
Yeah.
This stuff that commercially bought flour to make that shelf stable, they kind of have to remove part of the nutrients and then they enrich it with vitamins. But it's never really the same as
Yeah.
making it fresh.
Okay. All right. Now, I know milling flour could be considered under this, but do you have any niche passions?
Niche passions.
I love a niche passion.
Boy, so I was thinking, yeah. I mean, no, I mean, other than kind of your basic mountain biking,
Yeah.
skiing, and baking. I can't think of anything that's super unusual or niche. That's about it. Maybe that
No,
makes me
that
kind of a simple person.
no, that's great. You're very active. I love it. Okay. I'm going to finish with rapid fire. That's usually not so rapid because I always have follow up.
Okay.
All right. Are you an early bird or night owl?
Now I'm an early bird.
What is early?
Um, I would say wake up around 6:30
Okay.
and probably in bed by 10.
That's my dream scenario right there. Be
Yeah.
passed out at 10 p.m., like be able to lay down at 10, fall asleep, and then wake up about 6 and get up after it. But it's not there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's our
okay. Are you podcast or playlist?
playlist.
Are we eclectic in our playlist or are you really going hard on a specific genre right now?
I am pretty eclectic, but lately I've been listening to a lot of folk rock.
Yep. Okay. So that would be like Lumineers and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorites is not a new band, but the Avett Brothers. Don't know if
Okay.
you've heard of them.
Absolutely not. No, but I will look into
Okay,
them.
you'll
I
have to
will
look
look
them
into
up.
them for you. Okay. All right. So they're good. Um, Favorite vacation spot?
Ooh, I mean, I so as a child we would ski in Tahoe.
Yeah.
ski, snowboard, and I just find Lake Tahoe pretty magical with the amount of snow they get there.
Yeah.
Um, but in the future, I would love to check out a more tropical
Yeah.
location. So that's definitely on my list to
Okay.
do.
Okay. Um, One word your friends would use to describe you.
I would say probably high energy. I pack a lot into my life.
I love that.
That's
Okay.
2 words.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And then because we ask our clients a lot what they want to do in retirement, what's your retirement dream if you could map it out?
I think it would just be something simple. I love my life now. I love just being able to grow things in the garden and
Yep.
be active, see friends,
Mm.
family. Yeah, nothing grand, just enjoying each day and um yeah, really living
Being present, keeping it casual.
present.
Well, you heard it live here, Carrie, the outdoor extraordinaire. I am so honored to meet you and hang out with you and have this conversation. I know it's been, you're early on in your career here at Root, but we are all so excited to have you. And clients are going to be so, um, they're going to be blessed to have you. You're going to be such an incredible advisor. I love your philosophy. I love how you handle clients. So I'm really excited for you.
Thank you so much, Jay. It was so nice to hang with you as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carrie. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.